is not a legally protected term. It's not like doctor. It's more like economist. You know, any asshole can start calling themselves one and fart out a vaguely plausible opinion on the current situation.
There we go. To show you that's this. The guy in the thumbnails was me. I was listening to the YouTubes. And again, what's on the internet, what's in the real world, and where does the needle of truth lie is anybody's guess. But there has seemed to have been an uptick. Maybe we could verify it with term search popularity on YouTube, where feminism was a scam. I'm a TradCon girl. Last year was the big TradCon girl push. You know, the girl wearing the crucifix between her huge cleavage. Like, tee I'm so for making babies. You know, that was BS. But I wish there was a scientific, concrete way to measure data and say, yeah, this is actually happening. But all I have to go on is the YouTubes. And all of a sudden, there's a significant increase in uptick of those of you of the female persuasion who are like, oh, yeah, we don't like feminism. Yeah, no, feminism was a scam. A year ago, there was the girls crying, oh, my God, I have to work 8 hours a day. I can't do it. And then there was the clickbait stuff like, it is a scam, girl. Oh, my gosh, I want to stay home and make the baby. And, again, if we had honor and integrity among our people, like the Japanese, that would bring shame to the fake. If your old man saw you doing TikTok shit, I think the Chinese ban it as well. If your old man, you would have brought shame upon the family. You would have been ostracized or kicked out or punished in one way or another. And you wouldn't have done that shit. We here in the open-minded West, fuck tradition. Joker put it best. It doesn't matter if they're being honest or not. It's the fact that we got to figure it out that should tell you everything. It's dishonest on either front. Not good on either front. But if I were to take a stab at it, I would say yes, an increasing number of women are regretting feminism across all ages. And this uptick, I would say, accurately reflects that. And these videos seem more sincere than not. Then the girl with the fake tears crying, oh, here's my Instagram account or OnlyFans. Link below. And if this is the case, if there actually seems to be a genuine change of heart, there's an important discussion that has to be had, especially the older you are, ladies, because to tell you the honest truth, feminism has a no return policy. Like you get one shot. You have a choice. You have a choice. When you are young, you can go the way genetics and biology and history, or I don't know, plain fucking love and emotions want you to go, which would be go find a guy, get married, have kids, have a family. Or you could go the route, and this is not any young person's fault. This is not your fault. Go the route that, frankly, you're politically motivated, biased, and I would say hate-filled parents, adults, teachers, the adults in your family tell you to go. Or maybe even they were misled. And for the past, 4 generations now, I don't know how Generation Alpha, I mean, are you letting these little girls just play with their dolls and their trinkets on recess? Or are you pushing that feminism and early sex ed onto those kids now? I know the answer. I know which way the teachers are going. But it's still, no matter how you got to that choice, ladies, when you were a young woman, I'm either going to be a traditional gal, or I'm going to be a feminist girl boss. And instead of family and love and husband and children being number one, it is, I guess, of all the fake gods you worship, going the feminist route, ultimately it's yourself. And I appreciate wanting to have your own life and living your own life to your maximum ability. But in there, it's career. I think that's the number one, right? Career is really important. Paying taxes, commuting, working for someone else. That's really important. Career. Feminism, the cult religion unto itself. I mean, I'm a guy. Oh, Sure, I'm as pro penis as the next guy, but it's not my fucking idea. It's like, oh my god, I'm a man. Here, listen to me very carefully. The reason there's not a male studies department is because men aren't stupid enough to waste their time on such stupid, worthless horse shit. We got other more important shit going on. But shows you just what a false god that is. Oh my god, the way I was born. Again, I want to start the brown-eyed people. The brown-eyed people of America.org. And we're going to fight the blue-eye atriarchy, the blue-eyed supremacy. And you know, a third god, I guess, would be what? Handbags, travel, dog rescue, what? What really what? No, and you have choice. You have absolute choice. But for 4 generations now, women have gone down the girl boss feminist path. And now it looks like mostly Zoomers, younger millennials, but there's been some boomer women. You know what? I was wrong. Oh, thanks for letting everyone know, Grandma. At 65 years of age. Thanks for letting everyone know. That's a lot of good that's done. The 2 generations that came after you might save the youngest generation, but you just let 2 generations of women basically waste us. Again, my opinion. I just think that maybe you should have families and fall in love. That's just me. Just me. You do you. I'm not your lord. I'm not your boss. You are your own 100% you go do what you want. I just think that women would be a lot happier if you're staying at home raising kids and taking care of a husband. That I could be wrong. And obviously not for everyone, obviously. But we know which way society has more or less put a gun to your head and told you which way to go. And if you don't, you are shamed and called to pick me. And not a real one. Oh my God. What did feminists do if you're not going to go? What? Make yourself as miserable as the old? Have you seen a happy boomer feminist? Have you? Where are they? Show me where they are. Well, I think because of the internet now, young kids can't be kept in the dark as long. Young kids, young adults, I mean, young people in general. And women are the ideas get out there. And once the ideas get out there, you can't, you can disagree with the idea, but you can't refute the existence of the idea. And then young women start to think about saying, well, wait, yeah, wait a minute. Why am I, what? How much for a bachelor's degree? And I got to get a master's? And then I got to work all the time. What really happens is they actually do go out into the real world, all right? The artificial environment where you have life put on easy mode, nay, I say God mode for you girls, where, Ruth, oh my God, you were born with a vagina. That's so amazing. That starts at 5, and then it ends once you graduate from college. Yeah, the corporations will still, oh my God. Do you have $6,000 to buy a handbag? Oh, you're brave into me. Oh, yeah, yeah. You know what would make it really amazing? This $6,000 handbag here and $18,000 worth of travel. Yeah, you got to do it. You want, oh, hey. Tina went to Greece. Did you go to, you better go to Greece. And you better get on the platinum level cruise of Greece. She just had the gold level. And she got an $8,000 handbag. You better get a $10,000 handbag. What do you guys brave to me? They worshipped and celebrated you from 5 years old. Then, when you get out, right? There's no more college. There's no more student loans to finance you. You got to actually go where the girls go out and work. And legitimate fields many times. And like, oh, shit. And in times past, they used to say, well, this is because of the patriarchy. This is unfair. And it's not because of the patriarchy. You find out that the real world in corporate America sucks. That's why men want to work less, but we're not going to go into that. And whereas in times past, it's just like, oh, it's bad luck. You just didn't, whatever. You didn't try hard enough. You need your master's. Now the internet, they're starting to realize, you know, like, especially with people like Josh Fluke, oh, this sucks. This is bullshit. Plus, I think now with that generation of the real true feminists back in the 60s, now just being washed up, piss poor, bankrupt, oftentimes homeless, miserable fucking women who wasted all their lives. They're like, you're getting a certain significant percentage of young women who are starting to rethink feminism versus tradition. And if you're younger, good, because you can still make that choice. But I'm going to tell you, gals, for the vast majority of you, there, there's no refunds. There's no returns. Generally speaking, not always. It's like it's like you get partial credit with the percentage of which goes down as you get older. Because let's be very clear about, okay, well, we want tradition. We want to go back to I don't like this feminism stuff anymore. Well, okay, that means you're going to have to entertain what men want. And whether you like it or not, the primary interest in you is not your degree. It's not how many master's degrees programs you have. It's your youth and beauty. How physically beautiful are you? And there's a limit. There's a clock. If you're 20 and I want to be stay-at-home mom, traditional, you date with intent of doing that. You go find a guy. You're like, look, I want to get married and have kids, right? I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and yes, I'll be submissive, loyal. Are you a good man? You date with intention. Okay, cool. You can have a traditional life. If you're 35 and you have student loan debts, which would seriously cripple the ability for someone to finance a family while you stay at home, and that's just your student loan debts. Are you bringing other debts to the would-be family? You're 35. Why would just unfortunate reality of economics is competition. Why would a guy go out with you when he can go get a younger gal who's prettier, younger, hotter, and will remain so for a longer period of time? Then there's kids. I don't know. Menopause, Lisa needs braces. Menopause, Lisa needs braces. Did you know there's this thing called menopause? Or did they leave that out in the latest chapter of feminism when they tell you at school? Or did you hear nothing about how frozen egg technology is foolproof, and then later on they find out it ain't? If you want tradition, usually that meant kids, because for the most part, men want kids. Not me. I just want to have sex. I'm honest. I don't want kids. I just want to practice making them. Get a vasectomy. See how consistent, intellectually honest I am. Honor. An honorable man. You're waiting till the 8th inning, 2 outs, to now get serious about getting married? No. You don't get to return it. There's a shelf life. No. But if you're 20, you could, I want to have kids. Yeah, you got plenty of eggs, young, fine. By the way, ladies, it's not complete horseshit. The frozen eggs thing isn't complete horseshit. You just have to plan for it way in advance. And you got to do a lot of round of egg freezing. Please read or do the research on, if that's your plan, if that's your insurance plan to have a kid, earlier the better. That's just the short version of it. But please research it before don't wait till you're 36 to get your dusty old eggs, and then they don't survive the freezing process, the thawing process, the insemination process, and then the birthing process. There is a ton of hurdles. So it should make a little kids book, but it should be for middle-aged women about the little egg that probably couldn't, and all the monstrous hurdles it has to go over. You could give it a sword and a shield, kind of like Beauty and the Beast or Sleeping Beauty, but there'd be no kissing a girl at the end, because that would be patriarchy. You have to go, oh my God, bigger dragon to slay. So if you're roughly 35, no, you're not you can't switch. You might be able to find love, but you can't switch. not fully. And then there's the this has nothing to do with the individual, men or women. It's all society. Do you know for how many generations and decades we've been investing our economic and political and legal and even social fabric infrastructure has been made, determined, voted by with feminism in mind, where there was no traditional the trillions the taxpayer now more modernly has invested in your college degrees alone, ladies. I know a colleague of mine, his daughter went to an overpriced piece of shit Christian college, but it was accredited. And she majored in education, got a master's in education, $250,000 in tuition paid by daddy. I'm sure she's a strong, independent girl boss. And then she ended up just becoming a flight attendant. Are you fucking joking me? Are you fucking joking me? Now, that has nothing really to do with traditionalism versus feminism. But the college degrees alone, why is the taxpayer financing, I wouldn't say subsidizing, but financing your college education if all of a sudden you're just not going to use it? 85% of the time, you're not going to use your college degree because 85% of degrees conferred to college students today, men and women, are completely worthless horseshit. But that aside, why are we spending literally, well, it's not $1 trillion a year, that's total. It's about 600 billion a year in higher education total, half of which, well, more than half would be going to women, mostly which for dubious degrees. Why are we doing that? You wasted all that time going and getting degrees that what you're not going to use. A lot of this happens in medicine, where a female doctor puts in all that time, all that money, all those resources, become a doctor, and then works part-time or doesn't become a doctor. Oh, I want to raise a kid, family. Why didn't you do that first and then become a doctor? All those resources could have gone to someone that would have done it full time and actually lowered medical costs and made it help out a lot more people. But your ass was in that seat. And that brings another kind of infrastructural thing. The corporate employer political zeitgeist or psychology or mentality of affirmative action. We're making room for you. There's all the we'll accommodate quotas, this, that. Oh, we got to get a certain number of women in the boardroom. This for what? You can't switch. Now if you're 35, 40, you might as well. I mean, you have no opportunity cost at this point in time. You're not going to have a traditional life. You might get married, but there will not be a traditional. So at that point, you might. But that's the whole point. Why don't you go have the kids at 20? You can have it all. By the way, you can have it all. You just got to do it in the right order. The big lie feminism has told a lot of young women has been that you can have it all at once. No, you can't. That's not possible. You can have it all if you want to get married. I should say form a family early and young. Get the kids out of the house, right? So they're third, fourth grade, they can kind of take care of themselves. With the advent of online schools, you could go to school part-time online as the kids are growing up. Once the kids are past the setting the house on the fire stage, when you're reasonably assured you got 2 hours before they burn the house down, you start going to school online, pursue a real degree in STEM or accounting or whatever you want. And you kids are kind of on their own by certainly you're 32, 33. You're still a relatively young woman. You had your kids and now you could go girl boss, fuck the sun. Girl boss to the Oort cloud. Girl boss to the Andromeda galaxy. Girl boss to your heart's content. Oh, by the way, your kids won't hate you because you were around to actually raise them. You can have it all. You can't be some 38-year-old with $120,000 student loan debt, no assets, not to mention, and speaking of infrastructure, we talked economic infrastructure and how the legal system, the divorce courts, don't even get me involved in that. Let's talk about psychological infrastructure. Look, I shouldn't have to say this, but men don't like lippy, insufferable, Coach Greg Adams said it best, combative women. We don't even like that in our male friends, like men, like other our buddies to bust our balls and give each other shit. But we're not dealing with insubordinate asshole men. We're not dealing with you girl boss lippy gals. We want sweet, demure, nice women. Now, just because you happen to be a feminist or you went to college, that doesn't mean you can't be nice or sweet or kind. Absolutely not. But generally, no. Generally not, no. And we could also go online and look at the attitudes and the lip, or I guess a more accurate measurement would be women's very picky standards have increased over times. That might be, I wouldn't speak directly to lippy attitude and combativeness, but picky and finicky. Are you sweet? Are you demure? And there, I'll tell you right now, there is a huge, it's just, they did a picture of all the women across the Western world. And it looked like just a big old bucket with a bunch of crabs in it. Anytime a woman tried to get out and be happy, it'd be pulling you right back down. The idea that getting married or want a traditional life is shamed and you're called a pick me, and the girl's like, you don't need no man. That we got, right? Your girl said that, right? I do recall hearing that many times. You don't need no man. Well, that starts to become baked into the personality. And personalities they take a lifetime to form. That's a personality today is a lifetime of events and ideas. And have you been taught to be sweet, kind, demure, deferential? I hate to say the word obedient. I don't mean that like a doormat, but I mean it more like a ballroom dance, lead, follow. One has to lead, one has to follow. I mean, that's traditional. Uh, Is that part of the, because okay, fine. Let's say you have no student loan debt. Let's say you're 23. Let's say you even have a good job as an accountant or something like that. If I got to fight you because you got attitude, no. We need the hardware. We also need the software to be compatible with marriage or commitment. And frankly, with I would say at some echelons, with the hatred that has in this hatred and the victimization, the victimhood mentality that has been embedded or attempted to be embedded in many young girls' minds by feminists, by feminism, by the left in a broader sense. Yeah, you don't have the software. You do not have the software. You got great software to go make money, go contribute to GDP, absolutely pay taxes, commute. Your software is perfect for that, but not love, not selflessness, not kindness or sweetness. That absolutely not. And so there's also this huge, in addition to the economic, political, legal, social infrastructure that's been laid, there's a huge psychological infrastructure that's been laid in the minds of young women everywhere. And that leads to the other thing. Look, you can't, frankly, treat 3 to 4 generations of men like shit, or at least antagonistically, and us versus them. We can't be rivals and adversarial for 4, 5, well, what, 60s? 6 decades? Yeah. 4 generations, 6 decades about, 3 generations, 6 decades. You can't do that and then just, "Oh, tee hee, just kidding." Flip a switch, "Ah, it was just a phase, tee hee." You've alienated generations of men. I don't know, did you see the divorce thing going on since the mid, late '70s? Did you see any of that? Have you seen the online war that's been happening? Has there been any kindness between both parties exchanged between one another? And I do appreciate women, especially the younger ones, say, "No, I don't want any of this," or "I was wrong," or "Yeah, I didn't really rethink. I should have rethought these things." I appreciate it, and that's fine. But this, "I want a man to take care of me now. I'm done with my girl boss." No, a TikTok video ain't going to change that. You have not only psychologically alienated generations of men that would be husbands, but they've also made tremendous economic infrastructure, long-term planning decisions and investments that didn't involve you. Wait, take a look at the young man, like, they don't go to why should they? They just need to work a little bit, live at home. I know you make fun of people living at home and the neats and all that. Okay, how many of them, if there was a cute, beautiful wife at the end of it, would have maybe worked, become an engineer, gone to college, this or that? These guys have, just as you girls have committed towards a path of careerism and corporatism and girl bossing and master's degree, that means you have not invested into attracting men or becoming a wife or wife and material. The men have responded in kind. Okay, there's no reciprocal investment over there. Well, I'm going to go play video games, or I'm going to go be, I'll get a career and all that, but I'm saving my money and I'm traveling and I'm not going to give it. There's a trend. Let's also talk about the men's software. You've told them for 6 decades you didn't need them. They've wired their brain that way. They can't just like that. And it's not going to happen in one generation. It will take generations of healing and apologies and, oh, that was wrong. And clear and majority, not some fringe elements or some gals who are independent minds say, wait, I want, it's going to take generations of consistent pro male messages and pro traditional messages for society to slowly get back to that point where it's like, are we all on the same page now? Are we all playing the same game, going to the same rules? This is why I wrote the book, The Menu. That you girls could all have an epiphany today. All of you could. It's not going to, that just means, oh, the boat is going the wrong direction and we're in an oil tanker. It is going to take generations to turn this oil tanker around because the momentum is so huge. Fine. Oh, we're going the wrong way. Well, we got a lot of work now to turn this ship around now, don't we? And it, just as it took generations to go from, wasn't it so funny when you were all making fun of June and Ward Cleaver? Oh my God. You think I'm June Cleaver? Oh, you'd all, deep down inside, you'd all love to have Ward Cleaver, a very gainfully employed man who was handsome by Hugh Beaumont. Is that the actor? Uh, you'd pay to have that. You, a lot of you won't admit it, but you like, oh, yeah. But you can't make fun of that for generations and like, oh, we want that now. No, we have it just like factories have been tooled to make M1 Sherman tanks. Look it up. Society hasn't been geared to build men who are going to become husbands. This is going to be a long social wide retooling if this is even going to happen at all. And there has to be a consistent, decades long, generations long message starting with schools. We know that ain't ever going to happen, am I right? Where it's like women like men. Can we start there? Women like men and they want men. And they want to get married or have kids or have we're going to have to start there. And you know what? If women, well, now the guys are like, "Rah, rah, rah." Guys, I don't want you. Don't. This isn't an us problem. It's a them problem. All up to you, ladies. All up to you. You can, your choice. If girls start showing significant and serious investment, and this is really what we want, and then the guy asks the girl out, she says yes, and then she shows up on the date without a flake or whatever. Okay. If we see it where girls are young, like, no, I want to stay, just a really good indicator would be women just like, no, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, okay, all right. We see girls saying, all right, I'm going to major. I am sympathetic to women because there isn't the supply of men. Again, the factories have not been churning out marriageable men. You told them not to. So, too bad for you. So what do you got to do in the meantime? Well, yeah, you should be going to college or trade school or something to get some kind of career. So obviously you could do that. But are you majoring in accounting? Are you becoming a nurse? Are you a truck driver? Are you somebody worthwhile? Or are you going to major in leftist, worthless liability horseshit and bring to the table $40,000 in student loan debt? Are you going to avoid having kids out of wedlock? Are you going to stop bringing kids to the table? Are you going to make sure that you're not a baby mama? Their action, this is going to be the slowest moving oil tanker you've ever seen in your life, gentlemen. The changes will almost be imperceptible. But after 5 to 10 years time, we'll know. You know, 2030, where they're forecasting half of people aren't going to be married. By the way, I don't think it's going to turn, because this is not, women are not a monolithic group. Men are not a monolithic group. There's going to be big camps within each, pro marriage, anti-marriage, pro tradition, anti tradition, pro fem, anti feminism. It's going to be a so slow. We won't see it in our time. We will not see it in our time, where women as a group will go back to tradition, will have perhaps a more modernized, practical life outlook, where it's like, well, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, women should be able to do whatever, like keeping the great elements of feminism and equality and equal opportunity and all that. But, well, it's, I don't have to go be a girl boss at 20. I can logically do that at 35, 40. We'll see. We'll see. But right now, girls are like, oh, I should have ordered the steak when I got the chicken instead. Well, it's like, well, the restaurant's closed, so I hope you enjoyed your chicken. And for you girls, like, individually, you can. There would be higher demand for traditional marriage on men's part than there is women. So I think women who want to be traditional, just to give you girls some hope, if you want to be traditional, you will find your desires receptive from men. In other words, there'd be plenty of men who'd be okay with that. They'd be like, yeah, men trying to find a woman that wants to be traditional, yeah, good luck with that. The lots, but it's definitely in women's advantage. Like, if you want to find a traditional man, you can. But society wide, no, I don't see this change. Not. And ladies, yeah, great. You're the trailblazers. You're the ones that get to blade this. If you think, yeah, well, we want to go back to tradition, well, you got yourself at least 3 decades and 2 generations of work to do ahead of you to do it. But for those of you alive today, 40, I think you can get a husband. You could adopt a kid maybe. But the traditionalism, no, it's over. Because the one thing men were interested in was your ability to have children and your youth and beauty, because sex is the number one thing important to men. Are you gonna say that's shameful? Are you gonna say male nature is shameful? I guess we didn't learn anything now, did we? That'll be another huge. You'll tell by waistlines. You wait. Look, if girls want traditional, all right, let's see it. Walk through Walmart. Don't use the rascal. Let's see it, ladies. Stop mutilating your face. Stop doing tattoos. Stop it with the ridiculous hair colors. Stop it with the fake gender you're not, or sexual preference, I should say. Are you going to be forthright and upfront and a mature adult? I want to get married and have kids. Cool. That saves a lot of pain. Are you going to tee Skrillex haircut? It was how many phases we got to go through? I'm pansexual. It was a phase. All right. I'm a girl boss. That was a phase. I'm a traveling YOLO digital. It was a phase. You're 58-year-old miserable, no egg spinster. I don't care what phase you're doing now, because ain't no guy paying attention to you. But yeah, I'm sorry. That was a lifelong purchase most of you girls made with that feminism thing. No one's taking it back. You don't get a refund. You don't get an exchange. It's certainly not a flip of the switch. Oh my God. I've been working 8 months in the real world. All this shit I was told since I was 5 years old is bullshit. I've been watching some Josh Fluke's channel. It's not bad luck. It's everywhere. I want a guy to take care of me. That's another thing. What, guys at that age don't have their own financial troubles? They don't have their own student loan debts they got to pay back? Oh, and I don't make me bring it up again, but you girls keep voting for this thing called welfare in the Democrat parties or Socialist Party, Labor Party, where, in short, we all decide to fork over. Well, it's not a third, but in the United States, we all decide to fork over 1/4 of our income to raise people who don't want to work. Also, you can be popular and have the right politics in school. If you stop that, maybe we might. No. All right, let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. Did you know, Mad 2 Canadian? I date and not or. Oh, I date and I got my ice cream. Date and I got my fries. Enjoy the decline. Let's fucking go. What is that? I did, and I got my. It looks like ice cream. Kaiser Flash, $2. 6,000 handbag and vacay is bought with debt, not cash. Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Hang on. Do I only have 2 super chats? It only says 2 super chats, and I'm fine with that. That's okay. I'm thankful for all of it. Where did Chad go? Vlad Elkins was in the house. But StreamYard has made it where they only showed fractional super chats. And if you were kind enough to donate money to me, I want to make sure that I do not miss it. All right, there we go. Cool. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Link below if you want to see where this is going. A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. And then also the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. That's nice. You girls are starting to think differently. That's cool. Maybe we make some progress down that way. But right now, most of you are, or half of you ain't getting married. You got to figure out something to do in life that gives you purpose and meaning. And that's why I wrote the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.